y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. Clack, clack. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back. It's time to talk about this show. It is, hold on, let me rub my camera. This is feeling real. I mean, that helped a little bit, but nothing too crazy. But y'all, it's been a long week. Monday, I put out 3 pre-recorded videos talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and Ready to Love. Man, the quality was just so crisp, but only if y'all knew how long it took me to edit those videos. So for this video right here, we're back to the live function so I can talk to y'all. Hey, Berta, Keisha, Alyssa, Anna, Summer. Hey, y'all. I was taking a break from Married at First Sight because I told y'all that show was stealing my joy, and I was not lying to y'all. This episode finally felt like the 2 hours was moving, you know? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I did not watch the episodes that I missed. So I think I missed like 2 episodes before Decision Day is when I stopped reviewing it. And I think that I haven't missed a thing. So if y'all have been watching Married at First Sight, if y'all been watching Married at First Sight the entire time, y'all let me know if I missed anything because I missed 2 episodes. I highly doubt it. Something tells me that none of these couples really should have been staying together, okay? None of the couples should have been staying together. So for Pastor Cal, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Viviana to go 4 for 4, y'all, I was so shook last night watching Married at First Sight. I was sitting there, I was about to say my fiance, I was sitting there watching the show with my husband, y'all. He said, they gonna go 4 for 4. I said, no, they're not. I said, absolutely not. They're not going for 4 for 4. The only couple, so let's just start in the order of events, okay? If y'all are new here and y'all find yourselves liking the conversation, you be sure to hit subscribe. If you are a regular and we friends at this point, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my videos. Hit the like button and share the video with a friend. But let me just go ahead and get to this review. I want to finish in like 30 minutes. Just because Scotty by Nature is interviewing Miss Wanda, baby, okay? What she say? Shake a bone. Miss Wanda, baby. He is interviewing her at 8 p.m. So I want to watch that before we go live for Ooh Ladies First Panel, which is going to be on Jamie That's Me channel. But let's get into it, okay? Something about it was just giving me like, I was irritated with the experts, y'all. Thoroughly irritated because I'm like, y'all really not gonna play in my face like y'all did a good job just because everybody said yes. Like, can we make that clear? Oh, and I forgot I didn't have my microphone on me. Can we make that clear? Just because everybody said yes does not mean that you did a good job. It might mean that you got a bunch of fools, bunch of clowns, but it doesn't mean that you did a good job. And the only person who I felt like was standing by that was Dr. Viviana. Dr. Viviana walked into Decision Day, and I don't think that she, felt better about herself if everybody said yes. I think she recognized that a lot of those couples shouldn't have been staying together. And I felt those vibes whenever Katina and Olajuwon sat down, especially with Olajuwon. Dr. Viviana does not fool with Olajuwon, and I think she knew they shouldn't have stayed together. But, I mean, y'all, come on. And then Pastor Cal, last night. Y'all know, typically I do enjoy some Pastor Cal, but his age is starting to show. I'm sorry. His age is starting to show. I feel like there's a different generation of people dating out here. And I just can't respect some of those things. Like even last night, Pastor Cal said, when he was talking to Stephen Noi, he said, I'm gonna shed a man's tear. And I'm just like, in 2022, are we joking about And I do sound like a different generation. I don't care. In 2022, are we joking about whether you're dropping a man tier or not? I'm dropping a tier because some of these people have said yes to stand with people who are mentally and emotionally abusive. And I don't care what y'all have to say about Noi and Steve and this whole job situation. I stand by what I said. And I came back here to argue with y'all about it again because I know some of y'all want to argue about Noi and Steve, and I don't care. Okay? Steve was up there with that sponsored ass ring from James whatever, where it's like, okay, cute, but you didn't pay for that ring. Let's be real. So it's time for us to right, Necey. The experts were crying tears of joy. I was like, really? Lashia said, I think Lifetime paid all of them to say yes to staying married. I don't know. I think they just casted a bunch of fools. I really do. And Brianna says, none of the counselors said, I object. And they should have. Okay? And they should have. Hey, J-Dub. Foolishness. James Allen. Okay? So I guess that sponsored commercial in the show worked for somebody. Y'all bear with me. I thought that they were done cutting grass next door, but it sounds like they still cutting grass, and I'm not about to stop this live. Okay, one lawnmower ain't gonna stop no show because it ain't that loud. All right, so let's get into the order of events. Let's talk about Michael and Jasmina. To be 100% real with y'all, I thought they were gonna say no. I thought they were gonna say no. You know, this is the typical routine on decision day for those of you who don't really watch the show. What they do is they have the couples reading about each other and they're giving their thoughts on each other. They say the good things about the person. They say the bad things about each other. Then they make a decision. And then we see what happens after the fact. So let's talk about Jasmina and Michael. Number one, I was shocked because, one second. The lawnmower is getting louder and louder, and it's distracting me. So I was trying to give y'all a second to like the video. So I hope y'all like the video. But number one, I was shocked that Jasmina and Michael went first. Because usually I always feel like they go with like an easy pick first or something that's not going to have us too emotionally distraught. So whenever I saw Michael and Jasmina, I was like, oh, they ain't staying together. Like they're going to go ahead and break our hearts now so they can say yes for the rest of the people, right? So one of the things that stuck out to me in Jasmina's reading about Michael, this girl, we didn't watch you a whole season. Give this man your ass, right? And she said in her reading, you know, Michael's so patient. She was saying all these great things about Michael. And then she said, but sometimes I feel like it's his way or no way. Where? Like, where? We've watched you at this point for what feels like 20 episodes tell Michael how he needs to talk to you. You've told Michael what type of facial expression he needs to make. You've told Michael what volume his voice should be at. And you even are condescending talking to him like a preschooler or one of your kindergartners by saying, Michael, you scold him. So I'm like, girl, okay, if that's what you believe, we done been through this 8-week process. And if you truly believe that this entire process has been his way or no way, you've made no progress. You've made no progress. So finally, y'all, we get to see Jasmina and Michael walk into the room. They both look really nice. Michael's suit was nice, right? Jasmina had on like an orange blazer dress. That was cute too. Now, this entire dilemma between Michael and Jasmina has been, are we just friends or what? And whenever she walks into the room, she sees him and she says, okay, Sue. And that's when it hit me. And I was like, they're just friends. Because she definitely okay suited him like that was one of her homegirls. Okay, hair. Okay, nails. Okay, shoes. I see you. She definitely handled that like she was just talking to one of her little girlfriends. So they have the conversation of their relationship not having any intimacy at all. And they don't know what the reason is for it. Michael says he doesn't know if he really has permission to be intimate with her. Sometimes he'll kiss her on the cheek. And Jasmina is just very, very, very awkward. Yes, J Dub, that's absolutely her bro, her lil bro, the way she be looking down on him like she's, I can't. Yes, Summer, he's in the friend zone. But at this point in time, y'all, I think Jasmina has realized that she has taken this man to hell and beyond. And y'all let me know if I missed anything. I told you I missed the 2 episodes, okay? But I'm pretty sure ain't nothing changed because y'all know Married at First Sight likes to waste our time for 2 hours at a time once a week. So anyway, she knows she took this man to hell and beyond. And for him to remain persistent, I think that that's one of the qualities that she wanted in a husband. So she's like, man, if I can act an ass and he's not going to leave and he's going to keep trying because he wants to be married, then I'm going to stay with him. So they talk about, you just have to let him know that you can be intimate, that he can be comfortable. Then they talk about his hand relaxing on her booty and whatever. So let's get down to the decision. Jasmina, she makes the decision first. She says, she feels like she doesn't know him enough because it's only been the 8 weeks, but that's why she wants to stay married. And y'all, I feel like this is never a reason for these people to stay married. A lot of these people come on the show, they don't like the relationship they in. And honestly, this falls back on like, why do you need a reason to end a relationship? One of the things that I feel like is a huge flaw with society, with women, with men, is people don't know when to end a relationship. They try to look for something wrong. Like, did he cheat? Did he hit you? Did he say something? Did he cuss you out? Like, they try to look for a reason. But the thing is, if it's not happening, it's just not happening. So I think that Jasmina and Michael really shouldn't waste each other's time. I feel like Michael also has a pride thing with this. I think he feels like he's making his sisters happy. They're proud of him because he wants to start a family. He wants a wife. And now that he has that possibly in his court, he doesn't want to give up. But honestly, y'all, I don't think that it is with Jasmina. It's not with Jasmina. So Jasmina decides she wants to stay married. Now, Michael, he says that his fear is they won't know unless they give it a try. So he wants to stay married. And as soon as this happened, I couldn't help but think about Karen and Miles from New Orleans. They definitely tried to pull a Karen and Miles. Karen acted like she didn't like Miles the entire time they were on the show, and they put the blame on the cameras. But guess what? Karen and Miles are still married to this day. I just don't see that happening with Jasmina and Michael because for whatever reason, Jasmina just seems like a horrible person. Whereas Karen just seemed like she didn't want to open up. Now, I want y'all to tell me, do y'all see similarities between Jasmina and Michael and Karen and Miles? I feel like the choices they made were very similar, but I still feel like at the end of the day, Jasmina and Karen are different people. Michael and Miles, I feel like they're very similar people. They're persistent and they are not going to leave a relationship, which is why they're for everybody. Kind of like Libras. Okay, if you like astrology. But I feel like Libras generally are for everybody, and that's what Michael and Miles gives. But Jasmina, yes, Sierra, I agree with you. I feel like she's nasty. She's nasty. I don't like the girl. I don't like the girl. Now, after they decide to stay together, they walk out together, even like friends. They don't kiss. Like nothing seems very intimate at all. I feel like if you've been with somebody for 8 weeks and y'all are married, living together, and y'all don't go to second, third, fourth base, it's never gonna happen. And I feel like to this day, it probably still hasn't happened because I feel like at least with Karen and Miles, I think they were kissing and things. I don't know if they had sex. I can't remember, but I think they were kissing. There was obviously physical attraction. Right here, it's a no. They're just trying to cling on to something. Now, the bigger red flag for me is after they decided to stay together, they chose to live separately. In what situation is this helping anybody, y'all? You tell me. I don't know if it helps. Like, y'all already have so much space in between y'all because y'all don't have a physical connection. Yet, y'all think that it's a good idea for y'all to live separately. And y'all, this is a part of Jasmina's makeup. How many times have I talked to y'all about this the entire season, about how all of her relationships have been long distance? And Son, you hit the nail on the head. Son says Jasmina has a lot of trauma she needs to work through. She has vulnerability issues. Facts. Facts. I think that's exactly what it is. So you asking him to take a step back, I don't think that that's going to get y'all anywhere to the next level to where y'all want to be. However, Michael is down to try anything for the sake of having a wife. And I'm just like, girl, goodbye. So now, y'all, they surprise us again. We go from talking about Miles and Karen to Katina and Olajuwon. I'm like, okay. So they're going to show us 2 back-to-back yeses. Y'all, this man right here, I got to be 100% real with y'all. A good a good emphasis on why I stopped watching this show is because this couple right here. This couple right here. I couldn't do it no more. I couldn't do it. I was like, I refuse. I'm not taking notes every single week talking about how he's being abusive. I'm not arguing in the comments about if Katina is a pick-me or not, or if she's just been mentally abused. I'm not. This couple right here irks my soul. They do. But we're going to talk about it. So, some of the things that she talks to the experts about is, what were some of the challenges in y'all relationship? And she says, well, I felt embarrassment because of the app. Y'all, every word that comes out of their mouth to me is just like cause for stress. What are you talking about, Jasmina, when you say you felt embarrassment because of the app? I think we should be a little bit more accurate with our description of what happened. I think you felt more of embarrassment. Embarrassment tells me that you knew you did something wrong and you were embarrassed by it. I think you felt shame. I think you felt blame because this man made you feel like you cheated on him. And for you to accept his version of reality as the truth, to me, is problematic. And that's why I'm just like, won't do it. So next they start talking about sex. Olajuwon gets a kick out of telling people that he withheld from sex and Katina is the one that wants it. You're whack as hell for that. I'm sorry. I'm just judging you based off of the 2 hours that I watch every week on this show. So I got to stand by my opinion. You're whack as hell for that. Now, Katina, I don't know. You've been a party girl, as you said. I don't know why she's not able to clock the whackness and the lameness that comes out of this man's mouth. And JW, you are absolutely correct. It's the molding process. He is training her similar to how people train dogs or kids. If you want to be all the way real, you withhold from something and then you give them a treat and they learn to do it over and over again until it's automatic. It's conditioning. It's conditioning, okay? I want my dog to go to bed. I pull a treat out. As soon as my dog hears that jar go off, he's running to the bed to sit down before I even have to say the words. And that's what the hell he did with Katina. That's what he did with Katina. He's withholding until he feels like he can reward her. And Katina, who wants to live up to being man's best friend, to being a good wife, she's falling for it for the sake of thinking that that's what it takes to be a good wife. And I'm just disgusted. I really am. It's sad. And it's just sad because nobody around her is recognizing this. Like, I don't think I could sit around their relationship and really root for them. And Sierra, you ain't never lied. It is giving small pain. It's giving little DE. LDE, absolutely. Because why do you get a kick out of talking about your sex life to other adults and telling people that you're withholding your wife from sex? Do you want a cookie? Okay. So he said, yeah, I did let her take a peek when I was in the shower. Okay. Now they start talking about this whole big deal of cooking. She can't cook. Her food's not edible. It was a big deal for him. And because of that, they aren't meeting each other where they need to be at. And it's still up in the air for him. As they sit on the couch, 10 seconds from making a decision, he's letting her know that it's still up in the air for him because he wants her shaking in her boots. So whenever he does say yes, she's willing to bend over backwards. When he says jump, she asks how high, only because he says yes. And I'm like, damn. Ain't nobody gonna tell her. Ain't nobody gonna tell her. Okay. So when it comes to the decision, y'all, I don't even remember what the hell Katina said. Let's talk about Olajuwon. Olajuwon said, initially I asked for a woman who was more established. So that's why today I would say no. This is coming from, I don't never job shame people, okay? Good thing you pay the bills. But for you to sit there and low-key shame your wife while working for the trash in your city or the sewer, you're a trash man. Okay? Your hairline is receding. And this is why I stopped reviewing the show, because I don't want to light this man up. I don't. So I'm going to move on from this. But you're a trash man, your hairline is receding, and you're sitting there telling your wife that you initially weren't going to choose her because you wanted a woman who was more established. Let's be real. Neither one of y'all have college degrees. You sat there and you talked about how you were an athlete. That's why I don't understand. Good for you that you were a college athlete, but you didn't do what you were supposed to do when you was there. Okay. I think he said, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I remember a couple episodes ago, he said that him and Katina sat there and they talked about their dreams and they talked about getting their degrees. And I'm just like, you don't even have a degree. Your hairline's gone. Edges missing. Have you seen her? What the hell? And you're talking about you want a woman who's more established. And then, I know back in the day, the trash men did make some money. They did. There's nothing wrong with a trash man paying the bills, but a trash man with a receding hairline talking down on his wife, you can't cook, asking for her. Like, it's just ridiculous to me. You have to be equally yoked. Okay, you do. And it seems like you're asking for too much. So, but y'all, remember, this is just a part of the process, y'all. This is just a part of the conditioning process. So he's just saying all this to have her shaking her boots. And then that way, if he flattens her down all the way to the ground, it doesn't really take much for him to build her back up. So let me not allow this man to get me worked up. So he flattens her all the way to the ground by insulting her. And then he slowly builds her back up. And he says, but you know what? Today's my dad's birthday. And my dad told me that, you should be with a woman who is respectable and who tries and who never gives up. Something about this man to me is giving mentally ill. You beat this woman down verbally by making it seem like she really wasn't worth nothing. So then that way you could build her back up. And then that way you could trigger emotion even more by talking about your father who's no longer here. I see what you're doing. And I think it's so weird. I think it's so weird that you use that moment to trigger her. I don't think I really heard this man talk about his father except for in the early episodes when he was talking about who he was. And you use this moment to hide the fact that it was your dad's birthday, allegedly, and then surprise her like it was supposed to be a cookie. It's an award. I'm choosing you today because it's my dad's birthday. You should feel more special because it's my dad's birthday who's not alive, and I'm saying yes to you today. Effing weirdo. Katina says yes. She's crying. The experts are happy, and I'm just like, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Sips tequila. Okay. Now, y'all, let's move on. Let's move on to Noi and Steve. Now, this is the one where everybody was split. Everybody was split. I was calling him unemployed. I know, right? In the name of Black love, right? This is the one who I call unemployed. Now, the comments were up in arms because some of y'all were like, well, you can work a contract job and still make money. You could do this, which is all, understood. However, whenever your wife asks you to step up and asks you to show that you are capable of paying bills, you could take a job. What is it for you to take a project to show your wife that you're capable of making money? And he never did that the entire time. Then they planted him with this James Avery ring. And we all know damn well he didn't buy it. He didn't buy the ring. He didn't buy the ring. It was a damn sponsored ad. It was a sponsored post by James Allen. I said Avery. By James Allen. And y'all, why are y'all coming to us with this scheme? I can't. So they have two conversations when they're there with the experts. They talk about, should relationships be 50-50? Because she feels like Steve does everything tit for tat. And yep, that's exactly what it was. And it wasn't James Avery, it was James Allen. Okay. Either way, he didn't pay for it. But Noi feels like everything Steve does is like very much tit for tat. Like, I cook, you wash the dishes. I sweat, you do this. You take the trash, you do that. And yeah, that stuff to me is just so dumb. Noi says she feels like relationships should be 100-100. However, I don't trust that she would actually give her all in a relationship simply because she knows that this man doesn't work. And this is where a lot of people disagree with me last time I reviewed this show, but I didn't care at all. I feel like if you don't work, there should be no reason for my house not to be clean when I get home. There should be no reason for you not to cook at least a couple days a week. So Noi, I feel like she's trying to say, well, it should just be 100 and 100 with nothing expected in return, because that's her way of doing nothing, because she feels like Steve is doing nothing, because in her mind, a man is supposed to work. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that, but I do feel like she was being dishonest whenever it came to her explanation as to why things should not be 50-50, because I don't feel like it. Okay, listen, if Steve was to leave that couch that day and say, okay, fine, I won't, go tit for tat. I won't scratch my back, you scratch yours or whatever. I said that wrong, but whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. I think that Noi would go home and she still would not take on household duties the way that she's presenting. And that's because he doesn't work. So Pastor Cal jumps in, and this is where, y'all, I'm floored with Pastor Cal. Floored. He jumps in, he says to Noi, just because Steve doesn't have a job today doesn't mean that he won't be able to provide for your family in the future. And that type of mindset is troublesome. This type of mindset is what gets people into bad relationships. Don't they always say, don't you stay with no man based on potential or based on what he had done? If you haven't seen him do it, then to Noi's knowledge, he's incapable. And I think that that's fair for her to think that way. But this is where I'm looking at Pastor Cal sideways. Pastor Cal, number one, either knows that Steve has a gang of money, or number two, Pastor Cal he has an unconscious bias. Pastor Cal would never cast a Black man for this show and the reason why I'm saying Pastor Cal, because some of y'all are going to say that he's not in charge of casting, but Pastor Cal has a huge influence on the people who's brought on the show, specifically the Black couples. Pastor Cal, he commits a lot of time to the black couples on this show. He would never cast a black man on this show who was unemployed. And next, somebody's going to say, well, you know, no black woman would want a man who was unemployed. Well, evidently, Noi didn't either. So I felt like that absolutely was an unconscious bias. And for you to encourage her to stay with him, to me, is wild. Y'all, Noi was going to stay anyway. But I just had to call a thing because I'm like, this was a joke. Yet another joke. So at this point, y'all, we are 3 for 3. Keisha, she said Michael. Now, Keisha, Michael was lying the whole time. Remember, Michael said that he was a yoga instructor. This man said he was an assistant principal. We'll come to find out he was a janitor. So I don't know. And then Jernell, you might be right. Jernell says, I feel like they know something we don't know. They have to. Because if you don't, it's absolutely an unconscious bias. I feel like they still didn't have any conversations about what he did for work. And if they had it in the last 2 episodes that I didn't see, they had it. But to me, she did not get what she needed from this man to know that he was capable of paying bills. Now, Cece says Steve has an engineering degree. He is employable. That's fine. I know so many people with college degrees. Let me not say so many people. I've heard of some people because I don't keep them in my circle. But some people who have college degrees who are employable and capable of making more money, but they still work 2 and 3 jobs. But they're working. They're working. I've never heard of anybody go to school, work hard for an engineering degree to not make any money. And even though he may have money, within the 8 weeks that he was with Noi, he should have showed her that he was employable. Because you know what they do whenever you apply for a job? They say, what's the gap in job history? What were you doing between 2018 and 2021 when you took 3 years off? Oh, I was just traveling because I felt like it. Now, I know in this day and age, oh, you shouldn't judge people for that. But this day and age, I promise you, his employer is going to say, wow, is he going to feel like that again? And he's going to leave. Is he going to work here for 6 months, get a bonus 6 months worth of pay, and then end up leaving us? Facts. I just saw it. Just call me Gia. She says it's not about what money he has or he doesn't have, nor wants reassurance, and it doesn't seem like he's willing to give her that. Period. Case closed. I agree. So, y'all, that's all I got to say about Noi and Steve. Obviously, they decide to stay together. So now, y'all, let's go on to the final couple, which, not them. The final couple, which is Lindsey and Mark. And this couple, it seems like a lot has happened over the past 2 episodes that I missed, but I'm not sure. It might just be the same thing. Now, they end up talking about social media. And to me, it sounded like live chat helped me out. That's what we're here for, to have conversations. I watched it twice. To me, it sounded like Mark had posted something on social media. He had a Noi moment, right? And Lindsey was telling him, please believe anything that you say about me on social media will get back to me. And it sounds like she doesn't want him posting on social media, or she doesn't want him to have a social media. Y'all, let me know if that was the context. Is Lindsey asking Mark not to have a social media page, social medias, whatever? So Pastor Cal, in turn, is telling Mark, why do you like social media? Mark is saying, well, I like to network. And Pastor Cal's like, well, you know what? This is why I tell husbands sometimes you're going to have to take an L. Y'all, this is what I disagree with. I feel like the whole you're not allowed to have social media thing in 2022 is insane. In 2022, I feel like that's a level of control and a level of, I don't want people to see you. A level of let me keep you in my back pocket. That's what it is. Yep. Okay. Y'all got the same thing. essentially, social media makes up so much of people's lives nowadays. Even if you're just posting pictures on Facebook, hey family, hey friends, right? So for you to tell this person that they cannot exist digitally, to me, that's a way of revoking contact with people who he may know that you might not know. That's like, if I'm not on social media, I'm not talking to some of my friends at all. Okay, because I don't text and call my friends all the time. Social media is a method of communication. So I'm just like, Pastor Cal, this is where I'm saying there's a generational friction. There's a difference. I don't think you should be able to tell someone that they can't be on social media. To me, that is insane. It's almost as weird as those couples who create Facebook pages and it's 2 first names, 2 last names, social media account. And then whenever you want to talk to your friend and you message them, you don't really know if she gonna reply or if her man gonna reply because he's so confusing that she is him and he is her. Yeah, that shit's weird. So I'm mad that Pastor Cal was telling him just to take the L. What is going on? Lifetime. I can't with this couple. So Mark then says, you've pushed me more than anyone. She's done more than push you, Mark. She's pushed you, all right? She's talked to you like a damn dog. So he's decided to say yes. Lindsey has decided to say yes. Oh, goodness. These people. Okay, and lastly, y'all, there's a group meetup. And Alyssa and Chris show up out of all people. Alyssa showed up in this sparkly slink dress thinking that she was really giving, but girl, your personality is so ugly, it didn't matter what the dress looked like. But of course, Jasmina was there to hype her up. Jasmina was there to hype her up. Oh, she looked like she ain't ready to see her ex-husband. And her and Michael are kikiing like girlfriends. And I'm like, this is why. This is why y'all are probably just going to be friends. And honestly, y'all, by the time we get to the reunion, let's make predictions on that before we go. Okay. So when Alyssa shows up, it looks like she skipped giving Chris a hug. And I was like, ooh, so you mad. So whenever it comes to giving life updates, I said, so Alyssa, what's been up? Alyssa says, well, I've just been enjoying summer, enjoying the weather, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, everybody wants to know if you're dating, but it sounds to me like you've just been enjoying the weather because you're a good person, right? So then they get to Chris, and they said Chris showed up with a new haircut, y'all, a nice suit. I was like, okay, that's how you show up, Chris. Chris was one who showed up like he was going to see an ex even more than Alyssa. So they asked Chris for his update. He says, you know what? Life is calmer now. I don't have the same pressure. I don't have the same stresses or anxiety. And I was like, ooh, shade. I'm like, Chris, I love it. Chris is the real winner of this entire season. He's the real winner of this entire season. If anybody was going to give kudos to any of these participants, it should have been Chris. The experts, I need y'all to do the right thing. I don't think it should be about just matching fools together for the sake of matching fools together. I think y'all need to do the right thing. Now, I was like, okay, nice shade. And he's dating again. So the other thing that we learned from this meetup is that Katina and Olajuwon, they want to tell everyone that they finally consummated their marriage. And Katina says it was well worth the wait. Sis, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you because I didn't think it was going to be, but I'm happy for you. It was given LDE, but okay. The other thing that she tried to flex was, he cares now, ladies. He cares about me. Even though Isaac was playing y'all out, he cares about me. And I'm just like, if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it, Katina. Now, finally, Steve ends up giving Noi her second ring, the one from James Allen, the one that was sponsored, the one that he did not pay for. It was cute. She was crying. And honestly, y'all, the way I feel about all of these couples as this season has come to a close is if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. The experts are irresponsible as hell for this. And I'm like, this is why I couldn't do. I had to take a break. These people were stressing me out. I couldn't watch the foolery for another. I couldn't watch the foolery for another 2 hours every single week, y'all. Especially after your girl was in marital bliss. Okay, I couldn't do it. But I'm gonna do it for 2 more episodes, y'all. I think there's a reunion part 1 and part 2. It looks like the reunion is only gonna be an hour and a half next week. So I'm gonna be here for it. Let's talk about it, y'all. But that's all I really got for y'all because I told y'all that I wanted to hop off and watch something on YouTube. And then I'll catch y'all on Jamie That's Me channel if y'all want to talk to me and the ladies for another episode of Ooh Ladies First panel, okay? But yeah, that's all I got, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, share the video with a friend. And if you're returning, y'all comment below. Say what's up. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.